How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here, back with another video. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. If you guys would please give this video a thumbs up if you guys do enjoy it. Subscribe, of course, if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit the bell notification button. Select all for all notifications. You guys don't miss out on future content here on the channel. And as always, we're going to be talking about Avowed. Of course, I have a lot of Avowed videos already out. If you guys have missed out on anything, gameplay or tips or tricks videos, I do have a playlist here on the channel, and I will leave a link to it at the end of this video. This is going to be my video talking about the 10 best things to do when you are playing Avowed, 10 best things for you to know when you're playing Avowed. And these are things that, I have learned since I've played the game for about 10 hours now, and I'm almost done with the very first area. And these are things that I've just had to learn the hard way and things I've learned on my own. And I hope these little tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you guys help you on your Avowed journey, whether you're starting off or, you're diving in and you're 8, 10 hours, 20 hours or whatever in. I'm hoping that there's something on this list that'll be helpful for you guys, no matter where you are in your Avowed journey. Also, I want to state off before I start my list, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, Avowed is just one of the worst games ever, and oh, it's so gay, and why can you play this thing? Here's the thing. To me, it's a fun RPG. The story, it may not be the best, most intriguing thing ever, but I'm having fun with the combat. I'm having fun with the exploration. I haven't had any bugs, glitches, game crashing. I haven't had any of that type of issue. I'm just having fun going around, completing quests, exploring the world, having a fun RPG experience, because we really haven't had one of those in a long time. Yeah, Starfield was decent, but I've played that game for 120 hours, and I just wanted to move on to something else that's new and fresh. It may not be the most innovative thing, but I'm having fun with it. So starting off with the first thing I want to talk about is gold. That is one of the biggest resources in Avowed, and a lot of people seem to have a problem understanding how to get gold when they're playing Avowed. So I want to state off, the two best things that you can do to get to get gold in Avowed is completing bounties and doing quests. So when you're in the very first area of Dawnshore, you're going to go to a city called Paradise, and there's going to be a bounty board. It's somewhat hidden, but it's not too hidden. I mean, there's literally like a vendor right next to it that you can talk to. So once you find it, you get 5 bounties for the very first area of Dawnshore to complete, and each bounty that you complete gives you 500 gold. Now you might not be thinking, oh, that's not a lot, but you're going to be getting gold from not just doing the bounties, but you're going to get gold from doing the quests. You get gold from killed enemies. You get gold from enemies that are just lying around as corpses. You get gold from opening up chests. But the two best ways to do it is doing those bounties and completing the quest within the game. And also, I would recommend that, you save up your gold. Now, if there's something that you have, whether it's gear or a weapon, and you don't want to break it down for resources, you get gold from it somewhat as well. So just keep that in mind. The best ways to do it, though, is to do the bounties and to do quests within the games. Second thing is that you want to make sure when you're exploring the world, you're going to find these fast travel beacons. Now, party camps, they act like fast travel beacons as well, but when you find specific fast travel beacons, you want to make sure that you immediately travel to it, because when you find a fast travel beacon, it doesn't automatically allow you later on in game to be able to fast travel to it. So make sure when you find a fast travel beacon, you go to your map, you fast travel to it, because then you'll be able to travel to it later. And it also acts as a checkpoint when you die, if you die in the game. So it acts like a save spot for you to be able to regenerate. Third thing I want to talk about is resources. A lot of people are confused. How do I get resources? Because even if you go out in the open world and you're exploring and you get resources, whether that, they're, stuff on trees, or you get resources from killing enemies or bosses, or you get resources from chests. Another big way that you can get resources is you collect gear that is garbage that you're not going to use, and you break it down. Like you can have two builds. You know, you can be a mage, and then you can also have a build with a sword and a shield. So, you know, you're not going to be using axes, you're not going to be using daggers, you're not going to be using pistols. So when you find all that stuff in the world, or you're gifted stuff like that from completing quests, and you're not going to use it in your builds, break it down, and you'll get resource materials from doing that. So if you're playing on Xbox, all you got to do is hold down X on whatever piece of gear you have in your inventory, and it'll dismantle it, kind of like Destiny, for example. It'll dismantle it and gives you resources so you can be able to upgrade your other gear. Next thing I want to talk about is that play with a headset. Doesn't matter what it is, put some headsets on, because it's really helpful for you to be able to hear the sound effects of nearby loot caches. So I would recommend that you go into your settings, whether it's Xbox or PC, and you go in and you make sure that the loot shimmering sound effect is on in your settings, because you'll be able to hear a shimmering sound in your ear and you'll be like, oh, there's loot chest nearby. Now, the loot chest may not be obvious, it may not be on the same level as you, but you'll be able to hear it, and you'll be able to try to figure out a parkour course to figure out where it's at, or solve a puzzle, but you'll know it's there so you can get loot from it. Next thing I want to talk about is make sure that your interaction icons are on as well in your settings. Make sure that's on. It'll be in the same area as the shimmering sound effect in your settings. So make sure you turn on interaction icons. So it's a lot easier for you on your little mini map to be able to detect if, you know, there's resources nearby or a grenade tree thing is nearby. Turn it on. Yeah, it breaks the experience a little, but you want to be able to get that resources collected as fast as humanly possible. Next, I want to talk about XP. A lot of people have been confused and complaining and whining online. I don't get enough XP when I kill enemies. Here's the thing. You don't, and you won't get a lot of XP when you kill enemies. That's not your source of XP within the game. You're going to get XP from doing quests, and then when you're doing a mainline quest, they're going to give you optional things as well. Like, I completed the Dawn Treader thing, but I also made sure I did the 2 optional little side quests within that, and that gave me bonus XP, and it gave me bonus resources. And it also gave me a unique sword before I even got to the main quest completed. So, you get XP from completing quests, not from just killing random enemies. Like, do this for me, for instance. If you kill a group of 3 enemies, they're each going to give you like 3 XP. But if you do a mainline quest, you're not only going to be getting resources, but you're also going to be furthering the story. You're probably going to be getting gold, and when you complete a quest, you're going to be getting a lot of XP, and that can be like 500 plus. So you're going to be getting a lot of XP when you do all the quests. Now, the quest may not be the most, exciting thing to do, but you're getting that XP so you can get ability points and character points as well. Next thing I want to talk about is to keep on person only stuff that you're going to use. Now, this goes back to, when you're getting resources, make sure you're using those resources and upgrading your gear. Whatever you're going to have on your person, make sure it's going to be stuff that you're actually going to be actively using. If you have stuff on your person that you're not using, store it in your party cache campsite if you're going to be using it later. Otherwise, like I said, break it down so you can get resources or gold. Because you don't want to have a bunch of stuff on you that you're not using, and it's limiting your inventory that you can only have so much. And then you're going to get to a point where you're going to get so much stuff, you're not going to be able to get anything new and good put into your inventory. And you don't want to be getting to a point where you find a good piece of loot or gear and you can't collect it because your inventories are completely maxed out. Next, always return to the merchants. It doesn't matter really where it's at. Just pick, a couple merchants that you know where they're at by memory and constantly return to them, especially because the game has an auto day and night cycle. Once the nighttime cycle has ended, make sure that you go back to your merchants and check on their inventory. because they have a 24-hour restock cycle within the game. So if you're low on grenades, electric grenades, fire grenades, ice grenades, lockpicks, go to those merchants and they're going to more than likely have a restock of that stuff. If you need health potions, essence potions, whatever it is that you need, go back to those merchants after that nighttime cycle has ended, because it's been 24 hours in game and they're more than likely going to have that stuff for you to be able to acquire. Last two things I want to talk about. When you're playing early, decide on what weapons you're going to want to use. You know, I decided I wanted to be a mage, but I also kind of wanted to play a little bit of Skyrim with a sword and a shield. So once I got my magic book, my wand, and my sword and my shield, I was done. And everything else, I haven't kept. I've broken it down for materials or I've sold it off for gold. So make sure that you're deciding what you're going to want to keep in game and be able to upgrade. And the reason being is because you have limited resources to use to upgrade. There's not a lot of gold collecting. There's not a lot of resources within the game for you to be able to collect either. So you have to be wise of what you're going to use for the rest of the game early on and upgrade, because those upgrade materials are rare. They're very rare, and you want to make sure that you don't waste them and cause a problem later on in game. Last thing I want to talk about, when it comes to grenades, whether that's normal grenades, electric grenades, fire grenades, or ice grenades, don't use them in combat. Don't use your grenades when you're fighting hordes of enemies. Your gear and your armor should be enough. You want to save all those grenades and the special unique grenades for solving puzzles. There's going to come a point where you're probably going to run out of essence and you're not going to have the ability to cast spells for ire, vice, electricity. And if you don't have any normal grenades, you're going to come up to a wall or puzzle and you're not going to be able to bust down that wall to get to that special loot cache. Or you're not going to have an electric grenade for you to be able to solve an electricity puzzle so you can get to a loot cache. You don't want to run into those types of problems. So don't use your grenades when you're fighting enemies in combat. Use the grenades for puzzle solving only. Plus, they're extremely hard and rare to find. So that's going to do it for my top 10 best things to know when you're playing Avowed. Hope this video was helpful for you guys. And if it was, please let me know in the comments down below. Have a wonderful day, and look forward to more awesome content coming soon. Bye, guys.